of you who have been in the world of development for a while, you're probably familiar with terms like the donor retention rate for your organization. That is the rate of donors who have already given to you at least 1 year, who come back and give to you a second year, so on and so forth. So you have to have at least 2 years of data to be able to accurately calculate that number. Okay, if you have questions about that, go look. We have a blog that tells you exactly how to calculate it. It's not complicated. But there's another rate that a lot of organizations, in fact, I dare say most organizations, have never thought about and are not thinking about calculating, which is also really important to the work that you do, and that's your volunteer retention rate. How many of you have volunteers? Hopefully all of you have raised your hands. If you haven't, you should. And how many of you are calculating how many of them are coming back and volunteering with you every year? How many of them are volunteering at the same rate or higher? How many of them have reduced the number of hours they're volunteering with you? How much time are you spending recruiting volunteers? How much are you spending on the recruitment process? Because this is just like donor retention. You know, it costs more to acquire a donor than it does to retain one. Volunteer is exactly the same. When you get a new volunteer, you have to put them through volunteer orientation. You have to supervise them more. You have to make sure they understand what it is that they're doing. This is, board members could be volunteers. You could have volunteers in your programs. You could have specific volunteers for a project. Lots and lots of different kinds of volunteers. What is the value of your volunteers to you? How much are you asking for them? How many are you retaining? And how much is it costing you to do that? Because if you're losing volunteers from year to year and you're having to go out and recruit new volunteers, that's costing you a lot of money. How much are you spending marketing that, training that, cost of materials, t-shirts, name tags? You know, there's lots and lots of stuff. You have to go through background checks with volunteers. That costs, or you should be going through background checks. If you're not, that's a whole other conversation. You know, there should be checks and balances, policies and procedures to protect you as an organization, which Marie has talked about in other videos as well. It's a very time-consuming process, and I really encourage you to be making sure that you are measuring it and making sure that you are utilizing your resources to the best of your organization's ability and being fiscally responsible with that. Volunteers don't fall out of the sky, so you have to make sure you're cultivating them just like you do with donors and staff and individuals in the community that you partner with. So we actually have a blog on our website about volunteer retention rate. Check it out if you haven't already. We'll try to put a link in the comments below so you can check that out as well. If you have questions, please feel free to give us a call.